We might be too young to have a spotted cow, but we are both diehard Packers fans.
I could talk about this for hours.
He was my legend. He was my quarterback one. Taysom Hill, forever in my heart.
You have a kind of a reputation of being the young diehard fans. How is that, Dr. Pepper Taysom?
Amazing.
Okay, good. Let's keep it under 25 minutes, all right?
What is going on, everybody? Underage Packers Podcast, episode 119, live on this lovely platform we call YouTube. I am Joey, and joining me is the one, and only, the man, the myth, the legend, friend of Aaron Rodgers. Big B, how you feeling tonight?
Man, I was feeling great until I had to listen to the intro. That absolutely makes my ears bleed. But otherwise, we're vibing. We're doing good on this game day.
Just knowing how much you hate it, makes me want to dance to it even more, as you saw me doing in our backstage queue.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on from that, we are here tonight to discuss this lovely game presented ahead of us as the 4-6 Green Bay Packers, with their backs against the wall, try to add one more win to the win column tonight against the Tennessee Titans. Coming off, the Titans also had a interesting season. I believe I should probably know this, but I want to say they are 6-3 on the year. 6-3 in front of their mostly crappy AFC South division. And this Titan team kind of confuses me, if I'm being honest with you, reading everything about them this weekend. But before we get too far into that, first, let me pop good old Diet Dr. Pepper for us here. Nothing better than it. Let's take a look back at this past week's game against the Dallas Cowboys, because the only reason we're having so much fun tonight is because of what occurred on this past Sunday. And I was just thinking a few minutes ago how different of a night this would be if on Sunday, if we played great all game, everything that happened up until overtime, say in overtime Dallas ends up scoring on their first drive, or we just play like we have for the majority of the season and blow it, and now we're 3-7 instead of 4-6. Man, this would be a complete 180 mood that we have here tonight. And I want to talk about the Cowboys game. We've had 3 days to marinate in victory, but there is a lot to talk about that will have an effect on the Packers going forward. First off, we saw finally some great performances from players that we've been counting on. Most importantly, and I almost feel like it's not being talked enough by the national media mainly, because they just expect greatness out of this player, and they really weren't paying attention enough to see just how different of a season he was having compared to his past seasons. And that is no other than 4-time MVP Aaron Rodgers. Like, I want to make a big deal about Mr. Aaron Rodgers, Mr. Burrito eating Aaron Rodgers having a great game for the first time this season. There were very few passes that that are typically overthrows on him in crucial downs. Like, I think of the opening drive against, I want to say, the Commanders on third down, where he horribly misses Robert Tonyan, bounces off his foot, and then the Commanders start off with a touchdown. Like, there have been some bad throws from Aaron. There have been some bad decisions. But in this game against Dallas, he finally got in a groove. 14 of 20, 3 touchdowns on the day. Overall, a great game for Aaron Rodgers. And most important to that success, in my opinion, was this team finally utilizing the run game as much as they should. You had Aaron Jones getting 24 carries and A.J. Dillon getting 12. Dillon averaged 5 yards and 5 yards per carry, and Jones averaged just about in that range as well. Just a phenomenal game by the two running backs. And if we want to keep on building off this idea of everybody depends on each other, you got to do when you're 111th. Running backs helped out Aaron Rodgers by finally allowing the run game to open up the pass game, marrying the two together, blah, blah, blah. But most important to both of those groups' success was this offensive line having probably their best game of the season as well. Really solid performance. There was some mistakes like Elton Jenkins on third down that had Aaron Rodgers fumble the ball deep in Packers territory. But overall, a pretty solid performance from this group of David Bakhtiari, Elton Jenkins, Josh Myers, Johnny Runyon, and Yash Nyman. Looks like they've found solid footing. And now we just hope they don't have any more injuries. Speaking of that, though, I am concerned because of news we just got just before we started here, straight from Wes Hawkwood's desk. I'm going to show this video here. Some pretty heartbreaking film we're about to see. I am concerned. I mean, let's show that one more time. I don't want to analyze injuries, but heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah.
So I need to see Wes's official listing here. What his, okay, he says digital reporter Wes Hawkwood's knee questionable has been added to the injury report. We have inactives coming here at the top of the hour. So you got to hope, you got to hope Wes is ready to go out there.
Yeah, that didn't look good at all. A non-contact injury.
Yep.
Man, I just hope it's not the ACL. We depend so much on our boy Weston Hodquits. Man, just prayers up to him. Hopefully he recovers quickly and we'll get out there as soon as possible.
No doubt about it. And I'm sure that's what it would have been like to see if we got film of David Bakhtiari tearing his ACL that kept him out of 2 years of games.
Yeah.
The one that he got at practice on December 31st of 2019. If we could only, or 2020, if we could only see that film, it would be just as heartbreaking. So just wanted to mention that when we're talking about the offensive line. Now, moving on to the defense side of the ball, and their performance in this game wasn't phenomenal. However, it didn't really need to be. They were put in some bad situations, such as Aaron Rodgers' fumble, but they did make plays when they needed to. That's pretty much the headline for the defense in this game against Cowboys. They made the plays when they absolutely needed to. They had Rudy Ford's 2 interceptions at crucial points in this game, which allowed the Packers to score 14 in the first half. And then on that last drive in overtime and also multiple stops in the fourth quarter, Jaron Reed made a handful of plays. Quay Walker made a handful of plays. Jair Alexander, who, had I wouldn't say inconsistent, but had his moments in that game. He showed up clutch when they needed him most. So defense played great as well, besides run defense, which will be a big problem tonight, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. Overall, so many points this team could have given up in this game. They were down 14 at one point late in the second half, but they did not give up. And we'll have to see what this defense looks like for the rest of the year, really. Where was I? I don't even know if that last sentence just made sense. All right, going along. Cowboys game, great to have it. They really desperately needed this win against Dallas if they wanted to have any hope of their season alive. Not only because obviously 3-7 is a record that you're pretty much doomed to be eliminated from the playoffs in weeks to come, but they just needed to learn how to win again, really. How to put a full team effort. A lot of complimentary football in this game, which we've been looking for all season long, and they put a full game together. And this was just so out of the normal for Matt LaFleur's team to be able to go down, get punched in the mouth, but then instead of, scrolling up into a ball, they fought back.
Yeah. There was multiple times during that game where I thought the game was definitely over. Like especially when they went
Yep.
up 14, I'm like, yep, this is it. Great weekend capped off by an absolute terrible game. But like you said, they stuck with it. They did not give up, and they finally stuck with the run game when they were down by 14 points.
Yes.
And you guys are welcome for that because of the words I had with Matt LaFleur on the practice field.
Yeah, you see, he has to, when Big B tells him to run the ball more, he can't look like he's acquiescing to, how old are you? 16 years old?
Yes.
Had to think about that one. But, in his mind, he's like, he's got a point.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a point. So they got it done this week. And hopefully that is the MO for the rest of the season because it needs to be. We need to see A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones get upwards of at least 12, 15 carries apiece because that is the only way that this offense is going to be efficient. And that's all right. That's all right. This is the team they have, okay? The days of Devontae Adams and MVS, and it's funny to call 2020 and 2021 stacked wide receiver rooms, but compared to now, they don't have those wide receiver rooms. They're working with, a rotating guys of whoever is healthy, which has been such a rotating door all season long. But, you have one guy that can step up every week, and Christian Watson getting 3 touchdowns in this last week is kind of what we expected this wide receiver room to look like week in and week out. Kind of just one guy that steps above the rest. Never really one defined wide receiver one, but they have their weeks. They have their weeks where they are the focus of the game plan. And clearly Christian Watson, if you got to see Big B's tweet at Packers practice in time on Saturday before he deleted it, you would have saw that Christian Watson was getting a lot of red zone looks at practice, so he was clearly a big part of the game plan, and luckily that ended up working. And I'm excited to see what Christian brings tonight.
Yeah, he was getting a lot of work in during that walkthrough practice, and he was getting a lot of touches in the red zone as well. So I'm like, hey, I might as well tweet it. I mean, it's just a walkthrough practice. What's worse that can happen? And literally right when I hit send, about like 5 seconds later, Wes Hodquist tweeted me like, you got to take that down immediately. Like, you don't tweet that.
Was that his exact wordings?
I don't think so, but that's probably exactly what he was thinking. I was like, oh my God, this kid's such a dumbass. What the hell is he doing?
Yeah. You see, Wes is too nice on the outside. It's impossible for me to imagine that he can keep it all in on the inside. Like I can't imagine he's that nice in his internal thoughts.
Yeah.
All right. Now, looking ahead to this game tonight, they might be going out without Wes Hodquist, who might be on IR. This is just like Brian Bulaga going out 30 minutes before the Seahawks playoff game because of illness, and then they had to throw Jared Veldheer in there.
Who absolutely balled out, by the way, in that game.
Oh, yeah.
Just saying.
Next man up.
Yep.
All right. This Titans game, like I said, this Titans team is very, very confusing to me. All right. Their offense, god awful. They are ranked 38th in the league out of all offenses. Okay. They still have Derrick Henry, though. Their passing game after losing A.J. Brown is abysmal. All right.
Might even be worse than ours, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I was thinking, oh, well, that's good. Their offense is bad. But then I'm like, okay, let's not be prisoners of the moment. Let's not be prisoners of the past week. The Packers offense looked like trash the 5 weeks before this game as well. So past offense is not so great. As far as I was going to say, on the other side of the ball for the Tennessee Titans, the run defense is the strength of this team, and how they have been winning is by being able to hold teams on offense to very little. And even if their offense can't put many points up, they're just going to run it with Derrick Henry. They're going to put off their opposing offenses on, against the wall the whole game, and that's how they're going to win it. You have Jeffrey Simmons on that defensive line. He can be a game wrecker for sure. Their pass defense, though,
A lot of no
is
names, in my opinion, in the
yeah,
secondary.
their pass defense is a different story. As Peter Bukowski points out, the Titans are 32nd in DVOA defending deep throws. So number 9, you wanna duplicate that performance? Let's see it happen. And the Packers will probably have to throw a lot, not only because you have the great run defense of the Tennessee Titans going up against what has been a shaky offensive line in the run game. The Packers will have to pass a lot because of that, but also if Derrick Henry is able to control the time of possession, Packers might have to throw a lot. And I also just think the Packers need to get off to a fast start in this game so that they have to force the Titans to pass a whole heck of a lot. Force Ryan Tannehill to throw to
Robert Woods.
Is he on there?
I believe so.
You're on the Titans? All right, that's I'm not sure if that's more of a indictment on the Titans wide receiver group or our lack of research, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I know they got Trevelyan Burks, but I don't know if he's off IR yet. So I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, I'm not quite sure if the problem is Ryan Tannehill or his wide receivers, really, but clearly AJ Brown was a big part of that offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially in 2020 when we faced the Titans at Lambeau, like we got off to a hot start, and like you, and this week,
you cut out for a second, but continue.
And again, we gotta replicate that tonight if we want to force the Titans to throw more, just like what happened in 2020. So pretty much get the 2020 game plan, slap it on this game, and call her good.
Exactly. Packers, if they win this coin toss, this is one of the only games where I'd say receive. Just receive. Mm-hmm. Because the worst thing in my mind that could happen in this game is the Titans take the ball first. They go down for a 7-minute drive, and Derrick Henry just runs all over. It's 20 plays, and it ends in 7 for Tennessee. And then the Packers come out all flustered. Aaron Rodgers tries to save the day, and they, it fails.
Yes.
So that's worst image in my mind. But yeah, if the Packers can keep the ball for the majority of the game, not make stupid mistakes, I don't know what this Packers team is really. I don't know what this Tennessee Titans team is. These are two teams that nobody is really sure of. The Packers are 3-point favorites according to Vegas, so we'll just have to see. I'm really interested to see how this game goes. But yeah. No,
I mean, in my opinion, I think whoever has the most time of possession will win.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I hope, even though this Titans run defense is really good, the Packers say, we do not care. And they just go out there and run it over and over and over again with A.J. Dillon. And in the 20-degree weather needs to happen. All right. Use their own, because if you recall last year or 2 years ago when such a good game, Packers Titans, I want to say it was definitely on a Monday night, because I remember Sunday before
Sunday night. Was it Sunday? No, it was Sunday night.
Oh no, maybe it was Sunday night, because I remember Sunday during the day, if certain things happened, the Packers would be able to clinch the first round or the first seed with a win against Titans, but then those things didn't work out, so they were fighting for nothing. But it's like, we'll have fun anyways, and that was killer. But if you recall, that whole week before, the whole talk was that this Packers run defense is awful, and Derrick Henry is going to run all over. And the opposite happened. A.J. Dillon ran all over that Titans defense, tried to get a few Lambeau leaps up there and failed, but that's besides the point. I'm hoping that is the case tonight. A.J. Dillon, he looked better last week, but he's had a few uncharacteristic games, few mistakes early on in the season. So hopefully he's able to turn the script and has a really solid game tonight.
Yes. I still need Aaron Jones fantasy points, though. I mean, I'm going on my way, starting Aaron Jones, not starting Miles Sanders. So I don't care what AJ Dillon does. I just need an Aaron Jones touchdown, at least one, to be confident in my decision.
Interesting.
Yes.
All right. Some breaking news here. The injury report has just come out as we are an hour and 30 away. We got inactive Shamar Jean Charles, Rasheed Walker, Luke Tanetta, and Jonathan Ford, all healthy scratches, and then the 2 expected inactives. You got Devondre Campbell with his shoulder injury, and then Romeo Dobbs with his ankle injury. I'm not sure why Dobbs has not been put on IR yet.
Yeah.
But maybe that says something about their hope for him to return this season.
But who cares? Our offensive line will stay as the same with David Bakhtiari and Elton Jenkins being active. So this will be probably the 3rd week in a row we have the same offensive line.
Yes, and that consistency is so important for Aaron Rodgers to be able to trust the men in front of him, to be able to trust the amount of time he has back there. So that consistency is phenomenal. Now, let's get into the ultimate hype part of this, all right? We had a great segment at the end of our episode that we initially recorded to post. I'm still going to try to get your hype video out because that was phenomenal, your hype speech. But look, let's focus in. Let's hit in, fellas. Packers, they have their backs against the wall. This NFC playoff race is, oh boy, it's sharpening up.
It is.
Packers have a lot to fight for going into this final stretch of the season. Every game is pretty much win or go home. It's pretty much the playoffs right now. They can maybe afford 1 or 2 playoff losses, but at that point, you're getting close. You're getting close, folks. And you want to control your own fate as much as you can. You don't want to end up there week 18 like many teams have in the past, depending on other teams to lose. You want to go into week 18, hopefully with a playoff spot already secured. But worst comes to worst, you want to still be able to control your own fate when it comes to that final game of the season against the Detroit Lions. But like I said earlier, with this Cowboys game, they absolutely needed that win. I feel great about the guys on this team. It feels like Big B being there, motivating the team last week, has really turned a page on this team, and they are ready to go on another run-the-table run and win this Lombardi so Aaron Rodgers can ride off into the sunset. Are you ready? This is game 2 of the We're Not Dead run. Let's do it, folks.
Let's go, baby.
Kickoff at 7:15. Grab yourself a Dr. Pepper. Let's get hyped. Me and Big B will have a video out tomorrow recapping Big B's whole Make-A-Wish experience. And depending on how great this game is, we might have another video recapping this game soon. But we'll have to see. Other than that, you can find us on our Twitters, Joey GPG and Big Packers 4X, to follow along with the game with us. Should be a fun time. Any other words, Big B?
Let's go win this thing, baby. We're in the color rush. Automatic W, baby. Automatic W. Then we go to Philly on the mini bye week. We win that one as well. Then we go to Chicago. We win that one as well. We're not dead, baby. Let's go. Let's get that confidence through the roof.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Cheers. We'll talk to you later.